Now we're going to talk about to-dos. Now, I can hear you saying, wait a second, I thought you were helping us to make money as quickly as possible. Why are you talking about to-dos? True. That is true. And it's a good question for you to be asking. Let me explain. There's this concept everyone seems to love. Quick money. The quick in quick money does not refer to how quickly the money comes to you, but how quickly you move toward the money. Okay? So if you're wanting quick money, then what you really are saying to me is, Gabe, I want to know how to move as quickly as possible. Does that make sense? This is going to help you do that. When you want to move quickly, you will end up with a mountain of tasks. They will either be one of three things: forgotten, overwhelming, or organized. You'll either forget about them, they will overwhelm you, or you will organize them. Those are your three options. Forgetting about it is what most people do because they have no strategy in order, so they just forget. That causes problems, needless to say. Overwhelm is not much better because maybe you know everything you need to do, but it's not organized in a way where you could even think about how to tackle it. That's a problem as well. This to-do list is going to make sure you don't forget and you don't get overwhelmed. You're always able to look and see what needs to be prioritized and when, okay? So this is actually the system that I have spent over half a decade building for myself. It's the best system that I have been able to come up with for myself to have the balancing dichotomies of simple and easy to maintain so that you don't have to spend tons of time inputting to-dos all the time, and yet also very specified and organized and prioritized so that I always know what I need to work on. I'm not looking at this mountain of to-dos trying to think about, well, what should I do today? You know? Okay, so here's how you build out my to-do list system. Step number one, I need you to think about the days of the week and what you do on those days. The reason why is there are certain days that have certain themes for everyone. A lot of times church or rest is on a Sunday. Well, that's kind of a theme. A lot of times if you have school or if you have work, Monday through Friday are, what do we call them? Work days, okay? Weekends, okay? Almost everyone has these categorized days. At the very least, if you don't have categorized days, you will be able to think about the categories within those days that exist in what you do. The reason why is I want you to categorize the types of things you do into 3 to 5 different categories, okay? For me, it's my work, my men's group I lead, my home front, taking care of the household, my adventure, this is having fun in life, and then my relationship with the Lord. Those are the 5, okay? Take these categories and come up with a theme word or a theme name. So for me, it's throne room, Titan Council, build, kingdom, adventure. I think this one's just adventure. Yeah. So there's my keywords, okay? Come up with those because that's gonna be the name of the category. If you just want to name the category, rest, work, sleep, cool. You can be boring. It gets the job done. Step number 2, I want you to open your to-do list software of choice. I use Google Tasks, but you can use whatever you want. I might be transitioning out of that eventually to something a little bit more sophisticated. I love Google Tasks because of its simplicity. Make a to-do list for each one of the categories. So I want you to make a to-do list for each of the 3 to 5 categories. I have a to-do list named Build. I have a to-do list named Throne Room. I have a to-do list named Kingdom, Titan Council, etc., Adventure. Okay? Then I want you to make a list called Junk Drawer or Miscellaneous. I call it Junk Drawer if you just want like miscellaneous or whatever, okay? Now, the last lists that I need you to make is a to-do list for every day of the week. A Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday. So now what you'll end up with, and organize all these to-do lists into these categories. I want the first to-do list to be Junk Drawer. I want then after that, the category of to-do lists to be your 3 to 5 categorized to-do lists that have the code names, okay? Then after that, I want you to have all the days of the week, okay? Here's how you're gonna use that. I understand this is a bit complicated. Here's how you're gonna use this, okay? Throughout life, when tasks arise, when I'm falling asleep at night, when I'm doing random stuff, when I'm resting, when I'm spending time with my wife, when I'm eating dinner, whatever, and I think, gotta do that. That goes in the junk drawer list. I have a widget on my phone with Google Tasks. All I do is open the widget, type it in, done. Or if I'm driving on the road, Court, can you throw this in my junk drawer? Okay? Then that's just throughout daily life. That way it takes the task out immediately. This is part of why you need your system to be simple. If it's not simple, you won't add them when you think of them, okay? Then once a week, I go through the junk drawer and move all the items that have accumulated in there to their respective categories. This helps me to take everything and categorize it. Why? Because I need to give weight to certain categories over others. And sometimes people end up doing a lot of busy work on what they call work when really it's life or home life or scheduling friend activities or whatever. And they feel like they did so much that day, but none of it was actual building their business. For me to be able to take all my to-dos and categorize it, then I can give my week weight. I can say, okay, first let's go and schedule all of the work stuff. Then let's schedule the people stuff. Then let's schedule the home stuff. And last, I'll schedule the fun stuff. Or the other way around if I want to, right? But at least I know I'm giving more weight to this particular category, less weight here, and I can identify and manage that, okay? That's what we're gonna do now. I want you to go through each of the categories and star or highlight all the tasks in that category that need to be done that week. What you're gonna do, so I'm gonna go through my home front to-dos. This needs to be done this week, this needs to be done this week, etc., etc. All my work, so on and so forth. Then I can go back through and review under each category. Oh wow, I have a ton on the home front that needs to be done. I guess this is giving me more of a home front week. I have a ton, or I can say I have a ton on the home front side. I'm not gonna do all that because I need to focus on work. Then it allows me to manage that ahead of time. Okay, once you've done that, I want you to transfer all of those tasks to the different days as you please. This is where another benefit comes in of having them categorized. One of the things I will talk about later, a scheduling strategy, is to schedule like items next to like items. I'm gonna do a lot of work in a clump. I'm gonna do a lot of home front to-dos in a clump. This will allow you to do that. Oh, I have about a day's worth of home front to-dos. Let's make Friday a house cleaning day. I have this many days of building in my company. Let's do these here, okay? You can get to strategize all that. All right, then on a daily level, I wake up every morning, walk into my office, have a couple shots of espresso, and I pull up simply that day's to-do. It's Wednesday, all I have to do, I don't have to look through the thousands of to-dos that I have or whatever. All that I do, open up Wednesday's to-do, boom, got it, already there built. This is where I just have a personal last step. I like to take that to-do list and transfer it to my whiteboard in my office. Whenever I'm working, I constantly have stuff up on my screens, and I would rather my to-do list not be in there. So I like to then just write it down, today's to-do, boom, 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 boom. Then I can cross them off. It's fun to actually, it's like I'm slaying a dragon or whatever to put that slice through it. I love doing that. You don't have to. That is it. Okay, I've got one bonus item for you. I purposely didn't put this in the main teaching because I'm not convinced that all of you guys need this, and it might make it a little bit more complicated. However, there is one last item that I have that is a part of my to-do list structure that I find very helpful and meaningful that I thought that I would share with you. So, bonus point, baby, is a don't do list, an anti-to-do list, literally the opposite of what every to-do list is for. Why? If you're like me, you will have a ton of to-dos. If you're also like me, you need to be able to focus because time is your limiter above anything else. So what I do is I have everything categorized like I taught you in the last section. That way, I'm only looking at the whole list of categories once a week. Other than that, I'm just looking at the individual day. But even then, sometimes I end up with too many to-do lists. So I have a don't do list. I found myself ending up with long to-do lists every once in a while. Maybe there would be so much on the home front to do or so much on the business side to do that it felt overwhelming to even look at that list and try and figure out what I needed to do this week. The problem is, I would look and say, some of these aren't that important, but I can't get rid of them. I can't forget them. They need to be done at some point. So I came up with this philosophy. I'm gonna make a don't do list. If something's been sitting on there for a long time, or if something maybe doesn't need to be done, or if it's getting too long of a to-do list, and I need for my sanity to cut it down, what I can do is I can take and disappear it from that list and bring it over to the don't do list. Now, what's nice about the don't do list is it gives me peace of mind. It's almost like when you delete a photo on the iPhone. You know it's going to the recently deleted folder. You know it'll be gone eventually, but it's not gone yet, and so you feel like you can half part with it for now. That's what this does. It's a don't do list where I can, now it's gone, but it's not fully gone. My philosophy here is, okay, Gabe, if you ever magically catch up with all your to-dos and feel bored and don't have anything to do, you can go over that don't do list and you'll have hundreds of tasks that you thought of that are genius tasks that you can do. But until then, they're not going to be in your line of sight because you need to focus. And focus, in my opinion, is defined as how many good ideas you're saying no to on a regular basis. So that's what my don't do list is. It's a bunch of great ideas, great plans, great things I should do that I just don't have capacity for right now. And my thought is, if they really are important, I'll remember them down the road. If they aren't important, maybe I will get bored. I've never gotten bored. Otherwise, it will sit in nothingness, keeping me peace of mind. So if you want to do that as well, it's helped me a ton. But you don't have to do that. That's a newer addition that I added a couple months ago. Okay, now we are moving on to scheduling best practices.